One of the things to remember if you are planning on covering plants over the next few nights, never use plastic. The cold just goes right through it. You're basically going to get almost no positive impact from that. As Margie was showing us there, always use something soft. You get more insulation out of that than you do out of a thin sheet of plastic. Clouds building in tonight will give us a little bit of insulation in the atmosphere. You heard me for years talk about the blanket effect. We'll get a little bit of that tonight. And forecast numbers may be way off depending on where we see thicker clouds or a few breaks in the clouds. I think if we see breaks of significance, it will be closer to the Wabash. Anywhere south, it looks like the clouds are going to be thick and should be enough to keep temperatures above freezing. And lots of clouds showing up in our live view looking out over Mount Vernon right now. Threat tracker for tomorrow, the freeze is possible. And again, in southern Illinois, along and north of Route 13 and closer to the Wabash, I think there's a much bigger chance of seeing a 30, a 31, maybe 32 degrees. South of there, it looks like readings just a little bit warmer. But as far as big impact, threat tracker bars are going to stay on the low side. Thursday, I think we see freezing temperatures, and this is area wide. And I also expect to see quite a few readings coming in the 20s. And we're going to see similar numbers again on Friday. So if you are committing to covering, you're going to be covering for the next 3, maybe 4 nights. And some of these nights when temperatures really drop down in the 20s, if we would see a 27 or 28, it's going to be a little more difficult. In some situations, I think it's just time to say that's the growing season because this is typically about the end of that time. Temperatures falling off quickly into the 30s tonight. We could see mid-30s by the time we get to midnight. We do look for an increase in clouds all night long. Winds are going to lay down. That does allow a little more heat to escape. So again, some of us going to see freezing temperatures tonight. Temperatures are already dropping. We show mid-40s currently. Most of us topped out around 51 to 53, and it's already dropped to 46 on the board right now, so you can tell it is going to be a cold evening. And then you just take a wider look, and there's a whole lot of blue on that map. Kalamazoo and Wichita are both 39. Garden City, Kansas reporting 37. They are covered up in the clouds. Those clouds continuing to move our direction. They will increase as we move through the night. There is some rain associated with the clouds as well. Out around Wichita, stretching to the south to around Tulsa as well. That rain, as it makes its move to the east, will drift a little bit to the south. I wanted to zoom in here and show you we might see a sprinkle in the boot heel as we move through the overnight West Tennessee counties. That's about it. You also see thicker clouds projected in our southern sections than in our northern section. So again, that's the region that we're looking at along and north of 13 to possibly see some freezing temperatures. As we work through tomorrow, it looks like a lot of clearing. We should see a lot of sunshine showing up in the afternoon. We'll call it partly cloudy because we're going to start the day with some clouds around 32 on the board for tomorrow morning. And again, that's kind of a split. It's going to be a little colder to the north. It's going to be, in some cases, even considerably warmer south. Then Thursday, Friday, lots of sunshine. The clear skies also mean no insulation at night. Temperatures can really take a nosedive, so into the 20s, and that's even into southern sections. So northern counties could actually be a little colder than the 29s we've got on the board. After that, it is a warming trend. We're back looking at mid-60s on the forecast board by the time we get into early next week. A reminder, we fall back on the clock. And also notice, because I know a lot of my farming buddies have got a little bit of harvest to go, and they've been knocked out of the fields. There are several dry days on that board with sunshine and low humidity. If fields aren't too wet, if we can get equipment in there, I think conditions are going to get right here in a couple of days.
That sounds pretty good for them.
Yeah, it does. Good news. All right. Thank you, Jim.